So we've spoken about how to build our brands. All right, we are out there now. So the other crucial part of being a startup and also an important component is actually funding. So
Yep.
how do startups get funds or to be funded? Or how do we get in impact investors to be interested in our startup?
Okay. So you've touched upon, brand building and social media building. We've just, just put some highlights right on the topic. Brand building is a very big topic, and there are so many details go into it. Including your identity, building the brand, and all the related factors that go into the brand, which is the people, the values, the environment, and everything else, right?
Yes.
And so is the and building a social media presence is just being able to connect with people basically, through different content. So that's how you win different customers, right? But have variety of methods and variety of contents. So when it comes to funding, I I'm afraid my answer will be very limited. It will be limited to my own experience. And I've done my PhD thesis on this topic, and the book that I've shared with you, I wrote it right after. It's actually a byproduct of that research. And I've learned a number of things. That first of all is, um, you know, female founders have an advantage over male founders. I don't know if you
Really?
know that or not. Yes.
Oh, I don't know
Uh,
that, but it's good to know.
yes. Now it is found that women founders um, are twice as much as likely to be funded than male. I mean, to begin with, the ratio in starting business
Mm,
is, I think, more towards men. I don't
yes.
know what is the exact ratio. So when you
Mm,
have a female founder, she usually stands out. Women are, more articulate in general than men.
huh?
They're not afraid to show their emotion and passion for what they do in life, which men need to learn. We need to learn that. So that factor is, you already have an advantage,
Yeah.
there, just by being yourself. Okay. um, this might not have been the case always in the past,
Mhm.
right? But for example, women are mothers, right? And mothers are usually more responsible than fathers. Usually, they provide. They're more responsible. They're more, so
Mhm.
etc. So there have been research on these areas. So being a
Yes.
female founder, one. Number two is, and one of the most important factors, Jolene,
Mm,
is having a strong team.
yes. Partners and team members are very, very important because to me, I mean, we are a startup and we're actually experiencing, not say hardship, but
Hmm.
when MCO hit, we are hit from all sides.
I can
And
hear you. I hear you.
yeah,
Yep.
and with good team members, good partners, with which support each other, and we managed to pull through this MCO. And
Everybody's
also,
struggling. Yeah. Yeah.
yes, and also when it comes to brainstorming, and I think team members is very important when we build the startup with similar values. We need to have the same values in order to ensure this startup is on the right track. If team members or partners have different core values or different thoughts of how this startup need to be expanded, I would not foresee any good
Can be
outcome
conflict.
from this startup.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so having a strong team is very crucial for venture capitalists, especially
Mm,
because they know, like, 7 out of 10 of startups will just go bust,
mm,
right? They will close shop, and when that happens, the venture capitalists already have vested interest, and they've already lost some money, so they would at least want to capitalize on the team, so they can
mm,
actually take the team, the existing team of the failed startup. If they're a good team, they can be deployed elsewhere. They are basically part of the capital.
mm. That's interesting. Human capital.
Human capital. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, and there are other factors, right? Creativity and innovation is actually a factor. That's part of my findings. Yeah. So injecting creativity and innovation into your business is definitely a factor that will attract investment, venture capitalists. So first of all, you need to know what are the type of investments that you can get as a startup, right? So the first level is usually our closest, circles is we call friends and family money. Friends and family. Yeah, they are the first to invest, not just in Malaysia, in all cultures, all countries, around the world. So friends and family, and then you have your own money. You have your own money. That would be the first source. So you don't ask anybody. You just go and do it. And then if you need further funds, investors, and then they have different investors, right? You have
Yeah.
angel investors. It's individuals who invest and they don't want to be part of the scene. And you have venture capitalists, which they take active role in mentoring and coaching this is part of smart money, right? And then you have loans, and you could have private equity when you've grown up and you're raising substantial funds at series level. So yeah, having said that, it's there are a few sources of fund. You should know which source you want. Like for example, right? If you know friends and family money is going to be trouble for you, and they're so don't take it.
Yes.
Don't take it, right? I've worked with this startup in the UK, and they've actually managed to raise £100,000 from friends and family.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, they were into the fashion and measuring, having opening the camera and having the ability to measure your size without going to the store and having a more smooth experience, less rejection, etc. It's a very strong business model and all that. But the thing is, they said they at the end of the day they didn't touch the money. They said we're not going to touch it unless we really, really, really need it, and we get to that point. But we're keeping the money. We're not spending it, and that is smart. Not many people can
Yes,
do
that
that.
is smart.
People would jump on and they start to expand and build new products. They don't have no idea what the purpose of the product, or spend unnecessarily on things that don't have immediate impact. And if I may share something with you that is maybe not related to this question, but part of the methodology that I practice on my coaching is learning and growth, in short LNG, learning and growth methodology, where all the learnings that I share with the clients, at least most of it, have short or immediate impact on their lives. So that becomes a value. And startups should do the same thing.
Yeah, it's important to have immediate impact so that you can attract investors to actually invest in your startup. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, sometimes you can provide immediate impact, but maybe short term, right?
Short term.
Investors want to see traction. They want to see you out in the market. Who have you sold to, right? Who is happy with the product? So if we know that one person is happy, this person or this small group of 10 people, they represent a whole segment, a market segment, right?
Yes,
So to get funding, basically, you need to get first is one of the again strongest factors is building a early commercial success.
Okay.
Right?
Early
Like
commercials.
yeah, you're signing that first client on board, making your first sale,
Yes,
right? So
that is
traction.
very important.
Yeah, so these are what early investors would want to look at. Who have you sold? Where have you sold? But if you're just a startup on paper, it's not enough.
Yeah, I think everybody, not just investors, would like to see, can I call it proof of success? Just to get the feeling of, yes, this is something that is workable,
Yep.
Definitely aiming for success. Therefore, I would like to be a part of it. Yeah.
Brilliant. I love your questions, Johleen.
So you have already shared with us, how to build our brand, how to exist in in social media, and also how to get funds or to be funded. So maybe you can share with us, if you have a list, what would be, in your opinion, 3 things that could make a startup?